Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, listen closely, because before you buy a single property in Singapore, you absolutely have to get your financial foundation rock solid. If your goal is to climb that property ladder and build real, multi-generational wealth, well, this is where it all begins. We're talking high stakes here, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, incredibly strict government rules, and super tight timelines. But hey, get this right, and I promise you, every single step that follows becomes infinitely smoother. Let's get into it. But before we start crunching the numbers, I want to ask you something. Think about your friends or family who have bought a house. What do you think is the absolute biggest mistake property buyers make right at the start of their journey? Is it picking the wrong location? Maybe overpaying for some fancy renovations? So the crucial point is they skip their financial foundation completely. Most people, they get totally blinded by beautiful floor plans and prime locations, and they completely ignore the math until the bills are suddenly due. Missing this foundational step leads to massive regrets later on. We're talking about losing out on a dream home just because of a poor credit score, or getting trapped by hidden interest fees you didn't see coming. So today, we are building your financial war chest. Here is our agenda for this explainer. First, mastering your CPF accounts. Second, hitting those cash savings targets. Third, your eligibility and the HFE letter. Fourth, unlocking free housing grants. And finally, your complete pre-purchase action plan. All right, let's jump right into pillar number 1. Mastering your CPF accounts, building your primary weapon. If you work in Singapore, you know that a portion of your salary automatically goes into your Central Provident Fund every month. Now, your CPF has 3 main accounts. The Special Account, or SA, earns 4%, and that's strictly for your retirement. Then there's the MediSave account for healthcare. But for property buying, your key weapon is the Ordinary Account, or OA. This one earns 2.5% interest a year. And this is the actual money you can use to buy property, pay your mortgage, and even cover stamp duties. Okay, let's dive into this, because this right here is the hidden trap that catches so many buyers completely off guard when they eventually go to sell. It's called CPF accrued interest. Here's the deal. When you use your CPF OA to pay for your property, you aren't just taking free money. The government tracks every single dollar you withdraw, and when you sell that property later down the line, you have to return all of that principal money back into your CPF OA. But wait, it doesn't stop there. You also have to pay back the compound interest that money would have earned if you had just left it sitting in the account. Only after you refund all of this to yourself do you actually get to keep the remaining cash profit from your sale. And what is that compound interest rate? It's 2.5% per year. I want you to sear this number into your memory. The government tracks every dollar withdrawn, plus 2.5% interest compounding every single year you own the flat. This is exactly why preserving your CPF when you can, rather than completely draining it to zero, is an absolutely crucial part of any smart wealth progression strategy. Moving on to pillar number 2, hitting your cash savings targets. Let's talk about your cash reserves. Let's rapid fire through the exact cost you're going to face before you even apply for a BTO. First up, the option fee. This is anywhere from $500 to $2,000 in pure cash paid when you exercise your option to purchase. Next is the down payment. If you go with an HDB loan, the down payment is 20% of the flat price. And the good news is that can come entirely from your CPF OA. But if you take a bank loan, it's a 25% down payment, and the first 5% of that must be paid in hard cash. Then we have the buyer's stamp duty, roughly 1% to 3% of the purchase price, which you can also pay with CPF. Don't forget renovation costs, which generally run about $30,000 to $60,000 for a new BTO. And lastly, your emergency reserve. You should always keep 6 months of your living expenses in cash. Please never touch this money for your property purchase. So what is the magic number here? It's $30,000. That is the concrete recommended minimum cash you need to have saved up before you even think about applying for a BTO flat. Having this ensures you can easily cover your option fees, those initial cash outlays, and start building up your renovation fund without ever dipping into your emergency reserve. Now for pillar number 3, eligibility and the HFE letter. These are your rules of engagement. HDB has some very strict income limits when it comes to BTO flat eligibility. To put this into perspective, let's look at an example. Say we have a couple, Alex and May. Alex earns $5,000 a month and May earns $3,500. Their combined household income is $8,500. Under the current government rules, this combined income means they easily qualify to apply for 4-room and 5-room BTO flats. And this brilliantly illustrates a really important strategic timing tip. If your combined income is hovering right near that specific income ceiling, you've got to be careful. Absolutely do not apply for a BTO in a month where one of you just received a massive bonus, because if that bonus pushes your average income over the limit, you'll be disqualified. Now, to actually prove you fit the rules, you need the mandatory ticket to entry, the HDB Flat Eligibility Letter, or HFE. You apply for this via SingPass and it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to process. It confirms 3 massive things: your eligibility to buy, your maximum HDB loan amount, and the exact CPF housing grants you are entitled to. To get a good result here, you need to make sure you have no outstanding property ownership, your income documents are totally up to date, and your credit score is squeaky clean, meaning absolutely no late credit card payments. All right, let's lift the mood a bit with pillar number 4, unlocking free housing grants. These are your financial reinforcements. Just look at this massive number, up to $120,000. That is the maximum amount available under the Enhanced CPF Housing Grant for households earning $9,000 or below per month. Naturally, this amount decreases as your income rises. So, going back to our example with Alex and May sitting at an $8,500 combined income, they might receive between $10,000 to $20,000. It's literally an incredible boost to your war chest. So, what exactly are these grants? Think of them as essentially free money from the government, credited directly into your CPF ordinary account to significantly reduce the purchase price of your flat. And by the way, if you opt for a resale HDB flat instead of a BTO, there's also the Family Grant, which offers up to $50,000. Now, just to be clear, this isn't physical cash you can spend at the mall. It goes back to your CPF when you eventually sell the place. But by drastically reducing your initial loan amount today, these grants literally save you years and years of mortgage interest. Let's move to our final pillar and see how this all builds together. Pillar number 5, your pre-purchase action plan. It is time to ready the war chest. I want you to walk away from this explainer with a solid, actionable plan. Step 1, log into cpf.gov.sg and check your OA balance today. You need to know your exact starting point. Step 2, apply for your HFE letter at myhdbpage.gov.sg. Remember, it takes a few weeks to process, so get on it right away. Step 3, hit your savings target. Save at least $20,000 to $30,000 in cold hard cash and keep that completely separate from your 6-month emergency fund. And step 4, go to cbs.sg and check your credit score, so there are absolutely no negative surprises waiting for you. Once you've checked off those 4 steps, your financial foundation is rock solid. You've mastered your CPF, you've gathered your cash reserves, secured your eligibility, and factored in your grants. So let me ask you, are you ready for the BTO application? Because in our next explainer, we are going to dive straight into the actual application process, step by step, from balloting all the way to collecting your keys. Get your war chest ready, and I'll see you next time.